What's up, Ian here, and this is my review for the Joyodio Shine 1DD plus 2BA's plus tuning switch IEM. Now before I begin, I'd like to thank Linso for sending this to me and making this video possible. But guys, rest assured that whatever I say in this video is my own opinion. This video is not scripted, and Linso will be watching this video together with you guys. Alright, so Joyodio Shine. This is a pretty unique IEM with tuning switches, which means you can change the listening profile. In fact, there are 5 different settings, and yeah, and it comes in at $80 US. So for those of you who are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. Okay, so as usual in this video, I'll go through the accessories, the fit and comfort, the design and build quality, and of course I'll share with you my sound impression of this IEM. Now this video will be timestamped, so for those of you who wish to skip around, please feel free to do so. Okay, right, so Joyodio Shine, it comes in a box like this. Okay, quite a big box with the picture of the IEM in the front. At the back, you do get some specs, and let me just read them to you. Okay, so the frequency response is 20 to 40,000 Hertz, impedance is 11 to 31, sensitivity is 106. Okay, and this is 1DD plus 2BA IEM with switch. Okay, inside the box you will find instruction booklets, okay, different languages, and this piece of paper here, this one will tell you what to switch, right, to in order to get the tuning that you want. Okay, so keep this with you. If you were to buy this IEM, keep this with you and take a photo of it, store it in your phone or something. Okay, and then you get a tuning tool, it's kind of a pin, right? So this pin here it changes the switch, so don't lose it. You can put it in your wallet or something like that. Okay, and you get a pouch. So this is a typical pouch. All right, I think Duno also uses this, and some other brands they do use this generic pouch, whereby you can have a you can have a sort of like a mesh pocket in there. You can put your IEMs inside. It's kind of hard case, and the zipper is alright, so pretty standard pouch. Okay, and then you get ear tips. Okay, so you get 2 types of ear tips, okay, which I've taken out both just to show you guys. Okay, so 2 types. One is the red color one. This one is more of spiral. It's got a spiral type of skeleton inside, or ribs inside, I don't know, but it's wider than the white one. Right, the white one is wide. It's not narrow. In fact, none of the ear tips are narrow, so they are pretty wide. Lets in a lot of sound, which is treble, more treble. Okay, so 2 types of ear tips, and on the IEM itself there is this star line ear tips. Okay, right, so that is for the accessories. Now the cable. Right, so cable is some sort of a upgraded cable, 4 core cable, braided, terminates with 3.5, a straight 3.5 headphone jack, and Y splitter. Okay, and ear hooks. Right, so this ear hooks is quite soft. Okay, as you can see, it's quite soft, so yeah, no problems with that. Now it's a 2-pin, by the way. So let's take a look at the IEM itself. So the IEM itself, the shape of the IEM is pretty typical IEM shape, nothing unusual about it. The faceplate is made of metal, and it's got quite a nice design with a chrome like black finish. And then on the top of the IEM you'll see the switches. Alright, so this there are 4 switches here, and the switch should be facing upwards. Okay, and then that's how you read it, like so. Okay, this is how you correspond to it. So it's very easy to change the switches. All you need to do is just take the tool and then just flick the dip switch, and as you can see, it changes pretty easily. Okay, Alright, so that's for the switches. The inner shell is made of resin, okay, and the nozzle is kind of long. As you can see, it's quite a long nozzle. Yeah, and it's quite smoked, and I can't really see the inside of the inner shell. Can't really see the drivers, but yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so design wise, pretty standard IEM design shape, and yeah. Now, fit and comfort. So in terms of the fit, it's not, it's the nozzle. Okay, the nozzle is a little bit too long. Nozzle is a little bit too long for my ears, so it doesn't really fit my ear, but it's not uncomfortable per se. So if I were to put it on, okay, as you can see, it goes into my ear fine, but it doesn't go all the way in. So the inner shell doesn't really go right into my ear. So yeah, in that sense, it doesn't really fit me. I have to push really hard, which really hurts my inner ear and my ear canal. So in terms of comfort is fine. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. When I wear this, I can wear this for a long period of time, but it's just that doesn't really fit me. Okay, right, so that's for the fit and comfort. Seal. So seal is okay. It gives me about 50 to 60% cutoff of my ambient sound, so it's pretty okay for the seal. Again, it depends on the fit, so it's not really fitting me, so I'm not getting the seal all the time. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so now let's talk about the sound. Alright, so there are 5 different tunings for this. But before I talk about the tuning, let's talk about the technicalities of this first. The soundstage is wide. Okay, it's got this wide but not really tall and deep type of soundstage. It's got that airy feel, not really holographic, but like kind of airy feel. Definitely not intimate. Okay, so yeah, I find that it's quite spacious, so pretty okay for 80 bucks. The soundstage is pretty good. For imaging and sound separation, imaging is actually pretty good. For the natural layout of the instruments, the vocals, percussions, and whatever drums and all that, it's okay. It represents a pretty realistic soundstage whereby vocals are in front, percussions are behind, and the instruments are somewhere on the sides. So yeah, so I think that's pretty okay for imaging and sound separation. Sound separation is pretty okay. Actually, you know what I hear is not much of congestion, especially in a congested track, orchestras and all that. So I still can identify the individual instruments in their respective positions. So it's pretty alright for sound separation. Now for details retrieval. Now for that, right, it depends on the tuning. So as I mentioned, there are 5 different tunings on this. So the tuning that gave me the most detail is the hi-fi. Okay, so the hi-fi tuning gave me the most details. The rest of the tuning, they are alright. You know, they are actually, because you know the bass is elevated, so some of the details are impeded and or maybe hidden or veiled by the bass. Okay, resolution. So price to performance for these, all right, $80, plus you get 5 different tunings, plus is 1DD plus 2BAs. So in terms of the sound production or the quality of the sound it produces, it's pretty good. Okay, and it lives up to that $80. So I would say for price to performance, yeah, it performs to the price that it's asking for. Okay, so if it goes on sale, that'll be a deal. Okay, it'll be a good deal, right, if it goes on sale. But if it doesn't, if it's normal retail price, it's still a good buy. Okay, right, so sound. Let's talk about sound. So as I mentioned, there are 5 different tunings. And these different tunings, right, they give you different tone and timbre as well. So let's go through them. First is pop, right? So pop is more of a warmish tone. Now I'll flash the graph somewhere up here or here, wherever there's space. But yeah, for pop, right, basically the bass is somewhat harmonish. Okay, for this entire tuning, all the tunings here, none of the tuning is a bass hit tuning. So for bass hit, this IEM is definitely not for you. I mean, the bass is there, but it's not a bass hit type of bass. Okay, so yeah, for pop, right, the bass is there and it's harmonish. The note weight is a little bit heavier than the rest, but other than that, it sounds pretty okay. It's not too overwhelming bass, not underwhelming as well. Resonance is okay as well. The rumble which I hear is a little bit light on the note weight, not thin, but the tuning for the hi-fi and the classical, the note weight of the sub bass is a little bit thin and light, but for pop it's okay. For mid bass, right? So mid bass, I find that is okay as well. It's not it's not a standout feature lah, from what I hear. Okay, in fact, what I feel is that even with all these tuning, the most extreme tuning, which is the pop, right? They sound to me as a very safe tuning, right? So basically, whatever tuning you choose is very safe, right? So mid bass on the pop, right, is punchy, impactful, brings out the body of the entire track itself, but it's not overly done and it's also not underwhelming lah. So that's for pop, but it's going to be underwhelming for some of the tuning which I'll talk about later. Okay, but yeah, for pop is just nice lah. Okay, for mids, right, mids is veiled. Okay, is veiled because bass is kind of elevated, right? It's it does bleed, right, as the bass does bleed, but the transition from the bass to the mids is pretty okay. It's not too overwhelming. It's kind of smooth as well lah. So instruments like pianos, trumpets, violins, they sound pretty laid back, I would say, but it's a bit warmish as well. So for pop, it sounds warmish but laid back, a bit veiled. For vocals, male vocals and female vocals, they sound same thing, laid back. And for male vocals, right, they've got a bit more authority on this tuning than the rest of the tuning. I find that for pop, it brings out that warmth and that engagement for vocals, right? Female vocals, they've got that energy there, the bite there. Some people may find it a little bit too intimidating, but it's a bit darkish. So it's not the brightest, it's not a sparkly type of female presence, but it's okay, right? It's, as I mentioned, a very safe tuning for the treble and for female vocals lah. Okay, which is affecting the treble. So for pop, yeah, vocals is okay, pretty veiled. For treble, right, so treble, right, the gain for the treble on this tuning is kind of in your face, right, kind of in your face. So I would say that for most of the tuning, it's kind of in your face type of gain, the peanut gain. So some people may like it, some people may not like it, but it's got that small little hump there, as you can see on the graph, right? A small little hump there to the rise of the gain to maybe about 2K kind of thing. Yeah, so it's about that, but it's a bit of a darkish. It's a pulled back, so it's not a very bright treble. So they pulled it back a bit, roughly about the 3K to 5K region there, and that makes the treble a little bit laid back, a little bit dark. Okay, but it comes with a bit of air, right? So after that dip, right, it goes back up in the presence region, in the air region. So you get quite a lot of air. You can't get enough air actually. So but treble, in terms of the extension, is pretty okay. The roll of the treble is quite natural, I would say, with a bit of lingering before it rolls off. Okay, so treble wise, it's okay. Now if you look at the graph of all the 4 tunings or 5 tunings, the the gain to the air is a bit different, all right, and also the peanut gain, all right, is also a little bit different. So I would say the hi-fi tuning has got the most prominent gain, right, to the peanut gain to the treble. So that's a lot more bitey than a lot of people may not be able to take it lah. Okay, so got to take note on that. So but then again, you know, the hi-fi tuning gives me the most details, the most energy, the most engaging type of tuning. Okay, then again, it gives me the least amount of bass, right? So with the hi-fi tuning, the bass presence is reduced, very much reduced, to a point whereby it's totally linear, all right, as you can see from the graph. Is almost flat, not much elevation of the bass, not much emphasis. So that's where the mids and the treble shine, right? And especially the treble, where the gain to the treble it becomes a bit, in fact a lot more present, a lot more significant. Okay, so that's for the hi-fi. It's a bit too much for me. So actually I prefer the classical. All right, classical is the one whereby same thing, the bass is linear, which I like linear bass, and clean details, right? So classical presents to me a lot of details, a lot of nuances, which the other tuning does not present to me. Okay, so yeah, so these are the 5 different. I'm not going to go into the rest. I mean, the only one left is the R&B, but you know, R&B is and the pop is almost similar. Okay, so with 5 tunings, I think I think this is actually a pretty good deal. All right, if you can get that 5 different tunings at $80, right? Now who is this for? This is for those of you who listens to all kinds of genre of music and who only wants to carry 1 IEM, and you just want to have that convenience of switching the tuning on 1 IEM. Obviously you will not get that rich change in terms of changing real IEMs, okay, but you will get some sort of that experience lah. It's a discounted experience, but yeah, that's the convenience, right? You can listen to all kinds of genre, from classical all the way to trance and techno, with this IEM, because you can change. And the convenience of this, there are different IEMs, other IEMs out there that also allows you to change the tuning, but that is changing the nozzle. You have to, you know, unscrew the nozzle to change, and then you'll change the tuning. And or some of them, they have the vents, right? The vents, you can change the vents, things like that, or even the connector, right? If you change the connector, you change the tuning. But for this one, this, to me, this is the most convenient method, whereby it's just a flick of the switch and then you get your tuning that you want. Okay, so yeah, for 80 bucks, yeah, it's kind of worth it, right? Obviously if it goes on sale, that will be a steal, a really good value for money IEM. But in terms of now, it's a good deal, all right? It's a good deal, and I do recommend it if you listen to all kinds of music and you're just lazy to carry a lot of IEMs with you and just want to carry one. All right. Right, so that concludes my overall review for the Joyodio Shine. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, or learn something from this video, please give this video a thumbs up. And also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.